Okay, regular viewers of this channel may know or have seen me mention the 2230 and how much I like them. I mean, 2280 is fine. 2230 I really like because then I can use them underneath the drive caddy for the G4 and G5s. They also work with the G3 without any problem at all as far as under the caddy. But if you ever want to use a 2230 with a G2 or a G1, or you just don't, like for the G4, G5, you don't want to have to scavenge and try to figure out the right screw to have it fit in there, you can get an extender. And so I thought I'd talk today about 3 different kinds of extenders that I found eBay and the internet. This one is pretty common. You probably have seen it around. This one will allow you to you just sort of break off the piece depending on what you need. It comes out of the box, so it works with a 2230, but it will also work with the other sizes all the way up to 2260, I believe, in order to fit in the same spot as a 2280. This one comes from Dell. It's a special one that is just for 2230s, and I was able to get one. It actually came when I ordered off of eBay a used Noxia drive, and so that was kind of nice. It came with it. And then this one comes from a vendor on eBay that uses a 3D printer to make them. And so again, I thought I'd give you some choices, show what it looks like in a G2, maybe kind of examine what it looks like when you compare it to the sizing of a 2280 as far as width. You know, how easy is it to get them in there, durability, you know, various things. We'll kind of look at it. Just to kind of give you an idea, if you want to get the 2230. I like them. They're pretty cheap to get. Give you some you know, options. Some folks have said, well, they felt that they were slower, but I don't know. I mean, I guess slow is relative depending on the benchmarks. I have 2 of these running in a G5, but of course I'm not using the extenders. I could use one extender if I wanted to. So the other thing too, it has to do with availability. This one took, I ordered pretty much the cheapest one I could find off of Amazon. I think it took at least a month, maybe a month and a half to get. So, you know, if you end up liking this one, maybe order 2 of them. This one came really quickly because it was eBay. It was already with it. This one was pretty quick too from the seller. Good communication, the whole thing. So we'll go into some of the pluses and minuses on all of them. Let's first show how they actually connect to the 2230. We'll start with this one. It comes with a screw. You pretty much have it sort of, I mean, you've got the print on the back here, and you can see the different, you know, it just kind of numbers them as far as the ones to break off. We're not going to be breaking off because we, you know, we already have a 2230, but if you had some of the other sizes, you could break to the size you need. Very similar to the Wi-Fi hard drive card that I've used in showed in other videos. So we come here and essentially screw it into place. That did do a great job there. Let's see, let's loosen it a little bit. There, you kind of see what it looks like. for comparison, let me pull over an actual 2280, and we can kind of compare side to side. So here's looking at it in terms of when you attach it. Relatively close in terms of, you know, how thick it would be. So that one's pretty good there. Let's this one, little tricky because, you know, because again you're dealing with molded plastic. Is you got to get it sort of in the right slot here. And it does, I won't lie, it feels like, oh shoot, am I going to break it? But if you know, it is a little malleable as far as movement, and then you kind of stick it in as far as you can. And then again, let's look at the kind of a side by side. And then width, pretty close. And then, of course, this is where it would connect. Well, I'll show you what they look like when they're actually connected. I just wanted a little easier to show this way and get a little closer how it is when you connect them. And then this one, kind of the same thing. This does have a little screw that I believe you loosen ever so slightly so that you can get a nice, there. I believe they sell for the 2240. Is that the next size? Yeah, 20. Yeah, or 2246. I'm sure I've got 2230 on the brain, but I know whatever the next size is after the 2230. The same sort of thing. It will fit with this. This again is specific to it. And price-wise, this one, I think you could buy it by itself, but sometimes I've seen it sold for only a little bit less, and you don't get the drive with it. So if you can get it with the drive, that's a lot better. This one comes in a, if you buy 3, you get 1 free. I think, so they run, average about $3 a piece. This one, when I got it with a 256 Noxia, I think it was around $14, $15. By itself, I've seen it as high as 10. So you may want to look around and see, you may be able to get just the thing by itself. This one, again, I got the cheapest. I think I got it for $3. I've seen it as high as $8. Especially if you actually want the thing within a couple days, you know, you're going to pay a little bit more. But if you do decide to go the cheaper route, maybe get at least 2 so that way the time is worth it. Okay, let's see what these guys actually look like when we put them inside the G2. Okay, so what I did here, just to make it easier so I didn't have to take out the whole caddy. Now the cool thing, of course, with the G2 is you can just pull 2 screws, take out this piece of the caddy, and now you have full access to the M.2 slot there. Let's look to see what it looks like first with an actual 2280. Oh, wrong end. Okay, So there's your basic 2280. Again, I can stick just for comparison, and this will probably be good to make sure that whatever we put there will close nicely. So there's our I believe if we had a 65 watt, it's going to look the same, except you're going to have the fan resting about right here. I don't think it goes all the way down, because then it would get in the way of the Wi-Fi card and everything else. Okay, so let's take this guy out, and we'll put in the one that's got the okay, so here's the Dell. And make sure we got a nice... Let's loosen this just a smidge. Get that. Okay. All right. Take our screw. And there we have it. It looks pretty good. Let's try, give it the... Oh, I think this, let's see, do I have this on? Make sure I got... There, yep, fits nicely. Okay. So that goes on there pretty nicely. Let's try... what should we try next? How about the 3D printed one? So I'll have to first disengage. And take this one also out. Now I wonder if it makes more sense. No, that's not going to work. Okay, I was going to say, could kind of put this on here, and then, well, I guess that might work. Let's see. What I'm trying to do here is sort of have kind of like a true sort of extender. So we're gonna screw that in, and then we stick this into the M.2 slot, and then we say, oh, okay, it's sort of like we've got a our own 2230 slot that we can connect to. So we'll screw that together. All right. I just want to make sure that we're not touching the board. It looks like it's floating okay. Let's get our caddy piece. Let's see. That feels pretty good. All right. Slightly loosen to disengage it. Okay. And now finally the 3D. That one holds it nicely, which is handy. It's the getting in that's a little tricky. Oh, and you notice here, it's just a little tight. Let's see. And I think that's because it's supposed to probably go in a little better. You notice it's got a little notch there, but let's see if we can still screw it down. Yeah, there's still enough. It's still holding. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's there. Now, let's see. Yeah, that's okay. It's going to screw. It's going to hold. The ones I'm not sure about, and you may be asking, is how well these would work with the G1. Gosh, the G1 is just such a tough one to deal with already. Personally, I don't know if I would. I mean, I guess if I had an old unit that had a 2230 and I wanted to be able to reuse it, maybe I would get one of these extenders and give it a try. But I probably, because I want to make sure that it's going to, you know, as I'm getting it in there, you know, because you all know you have to take the whole heat sink and the fan, trying to get it back there so that nothing kind of opens up. So I don't think I would use this one, just because to me it seems a little flimsy with that. This one is kind of nice because it's got, you know, a base and it screws in. That holds pretty well. This one, you wouldn't have to worry about a screw. Both plastics, I'm assuming that the heat generated would be okay, because you're technically not under the heat sink, obviously. You're under the fan. So that should be fine. And yeah, you'd kind of have to experiment to see which one would fit better in there. Okay, let's take this out. It's a little tight in there. Wow. Maybe that might not be such a great thing if you're having to take it out. So I'm going to have to loosen it this way. There we go. Okay, that's good. That's not too bad. All right. Okay, let's put this to the side and we can talk about recommendations. All right. I don't know. I guess it comes down to what you want. This one is nice because it's kind of, you know, if you want it sort of in your tool chest of stuff, so to speak, because you can always break it off to use different ones with it. Both of these, of course, are specific for the 2230s. This one is specific. Well, it's not specific to the Dell because it just happened to be that's how they sell it. And then this one's a little more generic. I would say probably my favorite is this one. It's got the screw that allows you to tighten it down a little bit. It still has a base underneath here to hold it. So that gives it a good, you know, I guess stability. It was made for this specific thing. I mean, this is from Dell. This is, you know, this is a Dell part. So, you know, you know that it's been tested, tried and true, etc. Again, if you can get it with the with already a 2230 in it, hey, go for it. You know, I think that'd be good. This one I'm not. I mean, it's okay with the screw here. It's not as stable as I would like it to be. This one is nice as far as stability. It's sometimes a little tricky getting those guys in there. And I know I had some where it was just so hard to get in, it just wouldn't fit. So this one you may have to play a little bit, maybe, I don't know, you know, kind of a little more malleable to try to get it so it would fit in there. But it is kind of quick and dirty in that you don't have a screw you got to worry about. You know, you don't, well, I guess you'd still need to tighten this guy, but it is nice. It's pretty, you know, it's not going to break. This one is not as flexible. It's a little harder material. Obviously this is going, you know, it's made to snap. So, but you know, there's a lot of competition. There's these, I don't know, there must be one place that makes all these different ones. So, yeah, so something to do, something to give you some flexibility, so that you don't always have to go down the 2280 route.